Okay, so I hope this kind of works now. So, what I want to do is explaining a few of my levels for today, especially this one. I'm mostly troll creator, and I made a bunch of troll levels, and because I don't have a lot of time today, I want to do creators commentary on this one today. Um, what I want to do is go go through pretty much everything in the level, explain why I made things, how I made them, and also like how setups work. Even though I don't think there's like much complicated, but I just want to do it. Um, I for this level specifically, I also have like a bunch of clips of streamers like reactions, and cause I want to upload it to YouTube anyways, I might or might not like edit clips in or whatever. Um, but yeah, basically what I want to do is create a commentary on this level. Um, and as you can see, like if you've ever played Mario Maker troll levels, this does already look pretty awful. Like the level name not only is spelled wrong, it's also in caps, and it's also like pretty much like it has the #TGR tag, which is already like a usually a bad sign. It has a description that literally just says please play my level, like nothing very creative. And you can also already see on the thumbnail, like the thumbnail isn't like anything like special, like it's just literally just the start of the level, which is also part of what this is. And you can also see that this is ice physics, which is, like night ice theme, which is one of the like let's say bad themes where you're like this is you just do this to be awful. And so you already like you see the level and you're already like you already know what you're in for. And so when I made this level, I had like of course like a certain idea, and I also had like let's say a checklist of things that needed to go into the level, like because this was supposed to be intentionally just bad trolls and pretty much intentional garbage, to say it like that. And one of the things in the checklist was pick a path. Of course, like every or like pick a path is one of the worst possible trolls, and I'm not even doing one of the funny pick a paths or uh, pick a path where you like seemingly have a choice or anything. I'm just literally giving you two options, and you don't know why you would choose one or the other. And yeah, one of the options is just the right path, and the other option is literally just death. Like even a delayed death, which is also a thing on my checklist. Cause before a checkpoint, intentionally slowing down deaths or making anti-soft locks is considered bad for various reasons that uh, I'm not gonna explain right now, but basically instead of just putting spikes, I even make you wait for this Potoboo. Like if you go in here, I am. If you go the wrong path, you need to wait for this Potoboo to blow up this bomb, which is like 7-8 seconds wait, which is totally unnecessary and totally not needed. And you won't do that before a checkpoint. Like you might do that after a checkpoint, but you wouldn't do that before a checkpoint, and you also wouldn't do a pick a path. So the garbage it starts already very bad. Another thing on my checklist um, is falling garbage from the sky, or better, fish. Like here, up here, I literally have fish on tracks that fall down, and if you just wait at the beginning, you're pretty much dead. Um, I also have this shaft here, which is gonna be important later. Like, I don't know, if you know the level, you pretty much know why. But also has the side effect that if somebody is curious, like dodges, or even dodges those fish, and is like curious, like what is in here, here comes another fish. This actually, like, I actually sneaked in like 1 or 2 trolls that are like this that aren't actually that bad that you could potentially do, but it's still like the rest of the level still like makes them pretty bad, and this is also just the flying fish. The main reason that this fish doesn't come down with the other fish is that it's a fish on tracks, and if you are at the edge of the screen, you cannot put anything big on a track. Like, I can show this real quick. I could not have put the other fish on a track outside at the very edge of the screen because it's literally just too big and couldn't fit there. Therefore, I only could do those fish here, and this fish must be from a track like this, and that's one. Or like, that's why I couldn't, even if I would have wanted to, I couldn't have made another fish fall here. Like, I could have made a small fish fall here, but I kind of like having my levels being consistent. Another thing you might notice already, I did totally not pay attention to any dudettes. Like, usually, at least at this point, I would make sure to get rid of those dudettes here, because they already make the level look kind of like like I didn't put much effort into it, which I actually didn't, because that's the point. And they're just aesthetically potentially annoying. Some people actually dislike them, some people won't mind them. I intentionally kept those, even though it wouldn't be much work to get rid of those. Another thing that you might notice is what I also would not do in a normal troll level is have a lot of free space like here above. In this case, you cannot access it for reasons, but it looks kind of sloppy that there's just empty space. Usually I would fill this whole thing here and this here up with walls. Also, the one tile wall, it's kind of fine in some themes, but the one tile wall also kind of looks crappy, so I intentionally kept that. And yeah, having like nothing else but the path looks kind of crappy, to be honest. Then we got this thing here next. Like, if you go the right path, you get to this. This is just kind of random. Like, here's just a donut, but you can also just jump up here. You can use the donut. It doesn't really matter. There's not really a troll or anything here. There's also not really a troll here with those launchers. You can just, the only thing is here, like, you could get squished or anything. Also, if you actually start from the beginning, those launchers are going to be desynced because they are loading in a different time, which is just happening. And you also notice here's just a random spring falling down. Like, here, there's no reason. Like, there's literally no troll here, which also often is a problem in like not yet very well designed troll levels, which is in this case just a positive side effect. But this section is just like kind of confusing. Why is this here? What is the troll here? And the only thing that could happen is that you get squished by those launchers, but that's pretty much it. And here's another fish that you don't have, that couldn't even reach you. Like, you cannot reach the fish, and it's just randomly here. So the only thing you can do from here is go into this door, and pretty much everybody won't know before that they have to just hold right to not die to this spike, which also is not a great troll at all. It's just a blind drop out of a door that you normally don't have any time to react to. And also, it's also door amnesia, meaning people will die here very often early in the level too. So this actually, some people got more insane of this, but pretty much everybody forgot about this like at least a few times, which makes this not only a bad troll because it's just like a blind drop, but also a bad designed bad troll, to say it like that. Next up, this here is literally a pick a path. You have the option of path 1, 2, and 3, and you also have the option of just YOLO jumping, which I, just to be sure, Kaiser blocked off, which I didn't need to. I could have made it so that this would be like kind of cheese, but I decided that I want to DG's that and make sure that you cannot do that. And yeah, if you try to YOLO jump, you're pretty much dead, because there's no way you're getting anywhere else than hitting those Kaiser blocks. Those two paths at the sides, like this path and this path, are literally just soft blocks. That, like, those are just hidden blocks, and you just are soft blocked. Like, there's no way to die, and the only path you can go is the middle path, because this contains a bomb, and this not only checks up pick a path again, but also unnecessary weights, because right here I make the player do an unnecessary bomb weight every time they get here, which is pretty much bad design, especially because this bomb weight is totally unnecessary. I could just not have hidden blocks here, even if I would for some reason think that would be a good troll, but I just randomly make you wait for a bomb. Next thing, as soon as you get, I'm just gonna play this again, real quick. So you get in here. So next thing, you choose the right path. You wait for the bomb, which is pretty annoying. Like, especially how often do you might have to do it. You get up here, and as soon as you get up here, if you just wait for a second or so, the first off-screen swarm comes down. Off-screen swarms are just another thing that's known to be like a bad troll that's used in bad levels. When you're here, you don't have many options. There's seemingly nothing to the left, like at least nothing the player can see, and then you have here just pretty much blind jump. But at the left here is a little bit more. There's another off-screen swamp, which can get you if you go over here, and also something that looks like a dev block. Actually, in the version that is currently uploaded, this is a fireflower and not a mushroom. Doesn't matter a whole lot, but if I would re-upload, I would change that back to a mushroom. And this is just supposed to look like the garbage dev exit that is totally unfair and has, in this case, it has no purpose, but if it would actually be required, that would make it even worse. Like, this is just a dev exit that is totally, like, unfair, and if it would be required, that would also be another sign for bad level design. This hidden block here is just a fish, and it's just a random hidden block that you might hit accidentally when you like get this dev power up and then jump, then you might accidentally hit this hidden block. There's just no other purpose on this block here than being randomly there. Okay, so no matter if you get the dev power up or not, you get over here, and the only option you have is pretty much to just follow the arrows and jump as far as you can, because you cannot see where the ground here is. It's pretty much just literally a blind jump. And this is another of those bad trolls, which is literally just a few Kaiser blocks into a dev pit. Like, if you run, jump, and then you hit this Kaiser block, there's no way you're gonna end anywhere else than in this pit. Hello, Mr. Blad. Welcome. Hablo español un poco, but I am very bad with Spanish. Like, I've learned Spanish for like 3 years, and I still like cannot say much more than that I don't really speak Spanish. Um, yeah. Um, so where was I? So the no, I'm not making it troll level. I made a troll level is the wrong name. Like I made an intentionally bad level. Uh, that's called a troll level, and I'm now just explaining what I did in this level, why I did it, and like how. And so pretty much everything here, at least as far as I've done it, is pretty much just bad intentionally. Um, yeah. Um, so I have one dev pit with Kaiser blocks, and cause bad levels are gonna have it, they're gonna try to do that another time. Thanks. I think you're saying that that's a great idea. Um, it would be nice if you try to more speak English. Like it's just like generally nicer. Like I don't mind it that much, but um, I will probably not understand what you're saying, and I, it's like hard to say, like if you're uh, being rude or anything. Like I won't say you're doing that, but uh, it's hard to then like moderate, if you know what I mean. Um, so, because bad levels are gonna try that, they're gonna try to do another row. I don't really expect anybody to be like, oh, there's one row of Kaiser blocks, okay, I just hit them and then jump over them and then would get hit again. I don't really expect that, but I still want to have them just to have the effect of, oh yeah, okay, you're very funny, there's another row, how unexpected. And also, of course, all of the Kaiser blocks have the love, the funny, totally funny love soundtrack. Um, yeah, that's totally fine. I just, if I don't understand them, like, just try to more speak in English. Um, so I have the love tracks here, which are pretty much also the sound effect that people use when they make like uh, garbage pick a path and Kaiser blocks. So usually you would like use a baby sound effect, which is or fart or anything, but the laugh is just kind of more annoying and makes it more garbage. Um, no, I don't really like. Uh, if you if you send it to me, I might play it, but I'm not playing levels on stream. Um, I don't know what kind of level is it. Um, I don't know if you're in a Discord, you can like message me on Discord, and if you ask me, I'm gonna try playing your level. Although I'm not really giving good, I'm not good at giving feedback, to be honest. Um, so I have this blind jump here, and if you hit the next row of Kaiser blocks, and do pretty much just a full jump, then you're most likely going to land somewhere here. Like if you somehow jump too far, there is just death. There's nothing else over here like that you could reach. If you don't jump far enough, you also just die. And but most people are going to be able earlier or later to figure like out a consistent way, like to do a full jump, and then they would land somewhere here. Also, if you can also just run like against those break blocks if you jump far enough, and then you also won't have like a big problem like slipping off because of the ice physics or anything. So that's like not like totally spaghetti. A bunch of people still spaghetti this a little bit, but I was still trying, even though it's garbage, to make it so that it's not like a huge problem with spaghetti. And now I have another. Now here's another pick a path, cause why the fuck not? you have either go into the pipe or into the door. I don't think you need to. I know how to make bad levels, to be honest. Like, I've made I've a bunch of ideas how to make bad levels, and I've already used a few of those ideas. Um, Feel free to use them yourself, but try to keep them somehow funny, I would say. Um, yeah. Um, so your choices are just go in the pipe, which if you try that, this is literally just another soft lock, because soft locks are also just like considered like one of the worst possible design choices you can do in a troll level. Also, the pipe here is naked intentionally, which some people don't mind. Some people intentionally do it, like, but in a funny way. In this case, it's just like to trigger people that this pipe just looks awkward because it's naked. Also, I would usually put ground below here to not have like this open like area. Like this just intentionally looks awkward. And the other choice that you have to do is hit the P switch, and then you could go into the door. The arrows are also pointing at the door. I mean, yeah, that doesn't really have like there's no reason for you to trust or to not trust the creator. Like I already did multiple picker paths. Like you don't have any reason to trust the arrows, but I still like that arrows actually show the way you need to go. I added those Kaiser blocks here. Those are just all containing hammer bros, because I didn't really want to do enemy spam for reasons, and so to have like at least a little bit of enemy of like the bad enemies, like the classic hammer bros that you just put into your level to make them kind of enemy spam, I at least have those actually randomly placed Kaiser blocks that I just put hammer bros in, that some people actually spaghetti on. Like there's some funny clips like how people can mess it up just by hitting those Kaiser blocks and then losing their P switch, or like losing their power up or dying to the hammer bros. But if you actually know that those Kaiser blocks are here, you're just gonna try. You can pretty easily avoid them. So what you do next is activate the P switch, go in the door. And while I already had one unnecessary bomb wait here, P switch waits were another thing on my checklist, especially as a troll where you need to wait out the P switch before going into the door, because that's like a bad level would do. You go in the door and then it says it's like you have coins below you and you needed to wait before going into the door for the P switch to run out again, which in this case is basically a full fucking P switch wait. So I just checked up another thing on my checklist: full P switch wait as a troll especially, and yeah, then you can also there's no way to live this if you're coming in here with a P switch. You will fall down here because those blocks are coins, and you have no way to like hold right, and because those coins are solid bricks. Also, what I would note is that usually I would not allow you to go back into a door like this. Like, even if you now the next time be like, oh, I don't go into this door, like, or I wait for the P switch before I go into the door, I would usually not let you go back into a door or pipe in general, because that can cause a lot of like setups breaking, cheese, and it's not really great. So I usually do pay a lot of attention to not do that, but in this case, I intentionally made it so that you can go back into the door. A lot of people also didn't really figure out the first time that that there were brick blocks here that turned into coins. They didn't really saw the coins. I hope that most people would recognize that when you collect the coins, that you would need to wait for the P-switch. But a few people really spent a few lives trying to YOLO jump from here over here to then eventually see, oh, there are brick blocks below this door. Maybe I should try waiting out the P-switch. Which is kind of unfortunate, to be honest. But I thought about using P-switch blocks here, because they would not get collected like coins. So the player would rather recognize that they would need to wait for the P-switch. But the thing is that I feel like P-switch blocks don't fit into a level that's intentionally like bad. Like a bad creator won't, like, it feels more like an item that you would use when you're making good setups and not when you're making garbage. Like, that was at least my feeling, so that's the reason I didn't use P-switch blocks. Instead just brick blocks, and like in also because this is kind of like a throwback to Mario Maker 1 garbage, and there you also had no P blocks that people could use. So you go in here, you wait for the P-switch before going in here. P-switch runs out, and if you wait there, there's just another random fish coming down from here, and if you stand here, you lose your power up or you die, depending on if you got the mushroom or not. This is another soft block in here, like pretty much the most classic soft block, I would say. Like, you could like put Kaiser blocks in here to not make it a soft block, but this is pretty much the most classic soft block that you can do, and that's just another troll with Kaiser blocks. And pretty much everybody, even though I have done Kaiser blocks before over here, pretty much everybody did actually hit those Kaiser blocks and fell onto that anti-soft block, into that soft block. Actually, I don't think I needed this Kaiser block specifically, but I just put it there to be safe. In case somebody jumps like really late, I still want them to die there, or like get soft block there. So most people will hit this Kaiser block and just jump into here because they are trying to jump over here. So when I'm sorry, okay. So the best way to do this, once you know that the Kaiser blocks are there, is hit this Kaiser block and then go up here. Now you also have a way to go over here to those fire flowers, which are pretty much just the simplest possible shiny bait, because this is just blocked off with Kaiser blocks. And also here's another off-screen bomb that will hit you if you just go here. And maybe I should have even made like wall over here to make this a soft lock, but it's pretty much enough to just have Kaiser blocks here, and the only way to go out of this is just fall down here and die. So you do better by just ignoring those fire flowers. So you go over here and you have yet another pick a pipe, with this time intentionally not only naked pipe but half naked pipes. I already had a naked pipe, so why not also additionally do half naked pipes with spikes. Both of those pipes go nowhere. Like, pick a pipe is like a pretty easy way with one way to just say to make it just pretty simple for me, because I have a limit on pipes and doors, and with the pipes I could just use pipes that don't go nowhere, and that doesn't cost me anything. And actually both of those pipes go nowhere, and the real way is over here. First of all, you have this here, which is just blocked with a fish, which is a troll that has been done way too often already in Mario Maker 1, and that's why it's there, because it's not a great troll. It's just a block with a fish inside. And then I have this coin tray, and I have actually two Kaiser blocks here, both containing a vine, over here and over here. And if the player goes over there, and he follows the coin tray, he's most likely going to hit this Kaiser block and fall down here and die. By hitting this Kaiser block, he'll also see, oh, there's a vine in there, this could be a possible way. And this actually is the possible way. Like, this is the dev Kaiser block that you actually need, like, thing on my checklist, like, of bad things, like where you need a Kaiser block that you have no way to know that it's there and you actually need it. And with the I put the coin trial here to make sure that people would most likely actually find this Kaiser block and hit it and then know what to do. But just in case, and what also happened, somebody would actually miss this block and would get stuck here and wouldn't know what to do. I put another Kaiser block over here, just so that people who get actually over there and avoid this block would most likely then find this Kaiser block up here, which is also a vine. It doesn't really matter which of those two vines you use. You get up here and find this door. When you go into this door, the first thing you find yourself into is again a drop into the spike. And this also says, like, when you drop out of the store and die, you will also see this message on screen which just says copy. There are a few things different, like those blue blocks here over here you will see are different, and you can see parts of this pipe already, but mostly this part over here, even the doodads are the same, because I actually used just the copy function and copied over this part over here and just took it, copied it over, pasted it, and placed it there, and then made like a few minor changes, or like added the copy message and stuff. The unfortunate thing is that I have the dev power up earlier, which isn't needed and is only supposed to add to the garbage. And this troll actually is kind of funny if you actually die to it, because the first time it's not that good. You just drop out of the door, drop into the spike, and die. And you already have the thing where you have to every time remember after the first door to hold right, and now you have to remember it after this door as well. So you're going to it's kind of I won't say good troll, but people might or might not die inside by having to remember this again, falling for the same thing again. Also having the twice meta from Mario Maker 1, even though twice is not necessarily garbage, but it might or might not have been overdone. At least for some people would say that twicing has been overdone, and that is also you just have another door drop, but it's actually pretty much the same drop out of the door into the spike. And the second time, if you actually hold right, it doesn't only say copy, but if you just wait there, those fish from up here that say pasta will also fall down. And if you actually die to the message saying copy pasta, that was actually the one troll that actually was funny to at least some people. Like those people who actually died to them and didn't have the dev power up at this point. For those people, that was actually a funny troll, even though the rest of the level was pretty bad. And if you actually don't want to die to the fish, you hopefully saw this star falling down over here, which falls in between the tracks, so you couldn't collect it after the star fall down, so it wouldn't land on this track and you couldn't get afterwards. You just have to know that you go here and you would get the star, and you're very unlikely to randomly just collect the star just by randomly being at the right spot. Like I've at least the few people who fell for that didn't accidentally get the star. So with the star you can survive all the fish like pretty easy. And then you have like the same pick a path from earlier, and it says copy, and you have now the choice to either try the other two paths or trust that it's a copy and pick the middle path again. And it actually is just and the other two paths are still just the same. They are still soft blocks, and you cannot YOLO over here. Like here already is a wall. You can already see that that won't do anything. And if you want to jump in here, you will also recognize that I did get rid of the Kaiser blocks and the bomb weight here. For the reason that this is pretty much where the garbage part ends. There was one streamer who actually went in here first, and then was like, oh wait, the Kaiser blocks aren't here. Is this actually a copy? And then he went back in here and tried one of those paths, and then realized, oh yeah, it's actually a copy. Those are actually still soft blocks. And he just got confused by those Kaiser blocks not being there, and that's why he tested if those Kaiser blocks are still there, and they are in fact still there. And I think if somebody actually trolls himself by doing that, I think that's worth it not having those Kaiser blocks as well. And the only reason they are not there, like the only intended reason they are not there, is to just cut out one bomb weight, because I did not really have a reason to make you wait another bomb out at this point, because this is literally just the end of, like, after this there's not much more of this kind of type of troll left. So once you get up here, the only thing you can do is go into this pipe, and this pipe, by the way, will be naked, because this bomb will blow up and will destroy the two blocks that would usually unnake the pipe. I mean, yes, you can see those weird tracks and you can see those blue blocks, but generally the pipe will again be naked. So you go into this pipe, and it will put you between those launchers, so you don't really, like, didn't want to have actually auto scroll. So instead of putting auto scroll here, I just use those launchers to limit where the player can go, and the player has to stay in between those two launchers and cannot really move. And I'm then giving you this message, also with bonus music, which is on the launchers. I think, yeah, on this launcher has the bonus music, which means that as long as this launcher is in a certain range around the player, the bonus music will keep playing. Because I was thinking of actually doing kind of custom music, but I really don't have a lot of knowledge about that, so I decided to just run with bonus music because it also kind of fits and it's already in the game, so I did that. And the message that it gives here is a message inspired by the level is a lie, by just changing the word level into title. So it will say the title is a lie, and in between here, a lot of people will already recognize that there are those random brick blocks, which are basically a pause in the sentence, which are just randomly there, which I didn't bother like hiding or anything. That those are there. Most people will most likely recognize this. Some people will potentially predict what it is. Some people won't, but I didn't honestly not care so much about this level that I wanted to definitely hide that part that is going to be important later. Is a lie, and then it tells you to hold right. So the thing is that I just told people to hold right and then killed them by squishing them against this wall with the launchers. And what people did was holding right and run, because people automatically keep holding run. So what I did, I put a message down here that just says no run, and because the switch state at this point is going to be in the on state, so those two launchers would not be spawned in because they are spawn blocked by those two red blocks. So instead of dying to the wall, which the player can still do intentionally, if he jumps and gets squished by the launchers, he's going to die to the wall. But you're just supposed to just fall down here. The red blocks will go away because the swamp will activate the switch again. Red blocks are just there to like spawn block the launcher, so you can go down there, and then the swamp will make your way freeze through those switch blocks, and then it will give the extra message no run, because people apparently need that part. So this message, so at the end of the day, the whole message tells you to hold right at the level and don't run. So if you actually do that, you will still go the bottom path, and this is also part of the reason why the bottom and not the top path is right. And you will get to this here. So how does this setup work? So first of all, like I said, the picket path is the bottom path is right, so that you can hold right and you just go the right path. That's also the reason the donut is here, to like make sure that if you hold right, you will still get up here. And it also makes like most people will just ignore the donut, which makes it more likely that they won't get here at the same timing as when they would just walk. Because basically what is happening above the screen here is that I have this burner here that spawns in at the very beginning, like it's on, above the first screen. So it will spawn in at the very beginning, and it will push over this swamp here. The swamp won't be spawned in at the very beginning, but that doesn't really matter, because if you walk a little bit over there, that swamp will be spawned in before the burner will push it. And that swamp, or that burner pushing that swamp over, is timed such that or like, first of all, if you go too fast and activate the swamp too early, it would just go down here and will get trapped by the one way. If you go slower than just walking, then the burner will push the swamp even farther, so that you won't reach the switch block anymore. Some people actually wear that slow, like one of your attempts, and then they will see that there's a random swamp coming down here, which I did not care about at all. Like, I intentionally let this open just to have more random things happening, because that, in my opinion at least, adds more to the garbage. But if you actually like come at here at the right timing, the burner will push over the swamp, and okay, like I was like just a little bit too early, but the swamp will then hit the switch, and this is timed so that that happens exactly when you only walk. And the burner, by the way, just lands on this track, so it won't ever despawn, and you could not do any shenanigans with like going back and forth and respawning the burner or anything. Just to make sure that won't happen, I made this burner stay on this track at the end, and this was just for the swamp to get pushed by the burner against, to not get pushed farther, which I mean won't really matter, but like for kind of consistency I have that here. And so the swamp will hit that switch if you walk, and those blocks will go away. And also this spring over here that you have seen earlier is on this track here. We'll go over here and we'll fall down exactly here. And if you just walk, it's timed to delay you just enough. It's like you will exactly hit that switch if you block, if you that spring, if you just walk, and that spring will just delay you so that this platform here will come down because it's on a switch track, and the thwomp will hit the switch, and exactly then this platform can go down, fall down here, and fall on this track that one of the launchers also is on. And if you land on this platform, you can go into this hidden pipe behind the launchers just by holding right, which you're doing because the level told you to. So you go into the pipe. Oh, actually, you're in the off state. So I'm gonna show this again real quick. So what's happening when you go in the pipe? You are in the off state because the thwomp just hit it. And you will, if you just hold right, go in here, you will walk against those switch blocks, and then the switch state will change back on with a short delay, which is going to be important in a second, and you will go here and get this checkpoint. The one way here prevents you from anything going back. Those launchers below me are kind of suspicious, for sure. And you get the checkpoint. I give you the checkpoint because the walk is kind of slow and I don't want you to have to do it every fucking time. And from now on, the level is actually not intentionally bad trolls, intentionally garbage anymore. Also, note that this is not night theme anymore, because, like I said, this is not intentionally garbage anymore, so I don't want it to have the night theme for extra spaghetti anymore. So in this checkpoint room, I have those arrows here just showing to go the player into a circle, which is basically a bunch of sound effects. And most people are like almost everybody I've seen play this actually went into the circle like at least 2 or 3 times. And this is just a big time waster. Like there's also a coin in the bottom right corner here, which is kind of a small shiny, which also I think has a sound, some kind of sound effect on it, like the fireworks, I think. No, the you know what I mean. So literally just a bunch of sound effects. Just telling the player, oh yeah, you're having fun wasting your time. And also the spike in the middle, which is pretty pointless, just you're running around the spike in circles. And what you can actually do, like your only way once you're done wasting your time, the thing you can do is go into this door. But there's a little bit more to that. When you come from here, like I need to show this for the setup. When you come from here and enter this room in the off state, then those 2 launchers will spawn in before the switch state changes back to on. When you just spawn in those in the on state, like you would when you spawn from the checkpoint, those 2 launchers won't spawn in. If those 2 launchers spawn in, like before you cannot, you by the way cannot reach this area in the off state. If you come in here, you have to wait for the short delay to switch it back on. But before it gets switched back on, those 2 launchers fall down here and block your way into this, except that you have to wait for this bomb to blow up those 2 blocks. If you spawn from the checkpoint, however, you can just walk in there because those 2 launchers are not going to spawn in. And the rest of this room is pretty much pure aesthetics. A shiny one up here, a static wine there. Like I said, those this like which I also like to call dummy circle, because it's like pretty a dummy thing to just run around in a circle. So what's happening in you when you enter the room in the off state is that this power up here, this is a progressive power up, so it will first of all be just a mushroom. And because it's in the off state, this mushroom will go through this block and will hit this node block, which will I can just show it. Oh no, it's in the off state, on state. So what's happening below the screen if you enter this room in the off state is literally just that. The mushroom goes through here. This monitor is off-centered so that it will be pushed over, and this bomb here, before the muncher will be pushed over, walks in between the other between those two munchers, and hitting the node block will push over one of the munchers, which will explode the bomb, and the bomb will hit the switch. This setup is actually very overcomplicated, and there are way easier ways to do that. But I never, like, this costs more entities, it's more complicated than necessary. But I had, like, first of all, I didn't know the better setup. Like, at this point I know what the better setup would be, but at this point I didn't know the better setup. And the other thing is that I don't really care, like, nobody will, like, playing the level, you won't see the setup, so you wouldn't, like, be like, why is the setup more complicated than it needs to be? And also the important parts are still full. Like, it has to have a short delay, because those launchers need to fall down before the switch gets switched back on, and that way it basically, like, it works for me. It costs like one entity more, I think. Which I totally don't care about, because I have a shitload of entities left in this level. Like, I don't need to care about entities like I usually do in levels. The rest of this will be important later. So yeah, like I said, the short delay is intentionally and is important, so those launchers will fall down to not allow you to go into this door before the bomb blows up the first time you enter this room. So why is this important? I'm sorry, I have to show this every time just to set it up correctly. So you go in here. The launchers will block your fall down, block your path. The switch state will switch, and now you have to wait for the bomb. Like, no matter if you go in the dummy circle or not, you have to wait at least one bomb wait. You go into this door, and now you cannot go up here. And the only thing you can do is go down here. This is kind of like, there are a lot of switch blocks here, and there's this Kaiser marker, but there's nothing here. Like, there are no Kaiser blocks here. So you go up here. There are a lot of things up here. Like, this is super suspicious. The saws are obviously hiding something. This block here is just a fireball that is, like, there for a reason. Like, this is important for later, or like for a little bit, and nothing really is happening. Even if you go up here, you can see even more of the setup, because I didn't really could put any of this off screen. It had to be here, and those saws are kind of hiding also something that you cannot see, but you just see there's something here. But the thing is that you cannot see what actually is here. This block is just a shiny block, like one up, which you can get or not. And now we have this here. We have a snake, and we have a door. So the snake, actually, you can actually activate it, but the snake was hiding a seesaw. By deactivating the snake, this launcher here is going to fall down and push the seesaw down at this side and push this launcher up, and as you have seen, this launcher will land here, will block every possibility to like go into this door. The thing with launchers is that they have the same weight no matter how big they are. So meaning this launcher and this launcher have the same weight. So that's why this launcher is on top of this launcher stacked, so that this part here would actually weigh more than this, and it actually would push up this launcher. And so the only two options you have once you activated the snake and the seesaw is to either like kill yourself anywhere here or go down here. Down here, this is a pipe. This pipe does nothing. There are two shiny 1-ups and there are two twisters, and the only thing now you have to do is like somehow get through the twisters and land to the spikes. This is kind of an anti-soft lock, which is why I have the music here, GameCube music here, and it's a pretty easy anti-soft lock. It's not a hard anti-soft lock, but it's kind of an anti-soft lock. I also have this Kaiser block here, just in, like more as an Easter egg, just in case somebody finds, like tries if there's a way out of here and finds this Kaiser block. This Kaiser block contains a spring, which makes it very hard to land on it. And even if you do, the rest of this is still blocked off. So the only way to go is to die. You can also go into the door, like which is later the way. But first of all, I need to show why this is here, what this is doing. When you spawn from the checkpoint, so after you died once later in the level to anything, and go back in here, suddenly there's a Kaiser block here. That Kaiser block contains a Potaboo. Switch state changes and you fall down here, and because of how the screen was scrolled, you wouldn't see this arrow before, but after you see this arrow telling you to hold right after hitting this block. So this arrow is basically telling you, oh hey, hit this block and then go right onto this mushroom platform. Yeah, so how does this work? Like the first time this Kaiser block was not there. That's because I'm entering this room in the off state, and when I'm entering this room, this is the screen, like from the size, and everything 3 tiles away in this direction here will also be spawned in, meaning this here will all be spawned in, like everything here, this row here, everything will be spawned in. Important parts are this here, the spring, and this the spring, the shelmet, and this bomb will be spawned in because it's in the off state. Those switch blocks won't spawn block it, and what happens is that the spring will kick the shelmet, which will activate the Kaiser block, and the bomb will blow up the Kaiser block, which is also the reason why I force you to wait for at least one full bomb wait before you can go into the store, just to guarantee that this bomb already blew up this block. So this block will be activated and this will spawn in before the switch state gets changed back. The Kaiser block will be activated, the bomb will blow it up, and the first time this block here will not be there at all. And so the first time you can just go through, and the second time you would not expect this block to be here, but it actually is there. So now how did I make that block change the switch state? So this block contained a Potaboo, and I'm just gonna delete those saws because they're literally just there to hide stuff. And that Potaboo will
activate this ice block. So when you come in here, like spawn from the checkpoint, come in here, hit this Kaiser block. This launcher here is behind this ice block spawned. So this launcher would not be spawned this time. So this frozen coin melts. This launcher falls down, which also allows this muncher to fall down, which will activate this bomb, which will then activate the switch. When you get in here from the pipe, so that this the Kaiser block was blown up and everything, the frozen coin will actually be melted, because this powder boo spawned in before, and because that powder boo melts this ice block, this launcher would immediately fall down and would activate the bomb as soon as you go and enter the door, which I didn't want. Like, I wanted to force you to jump through there and see, oh yeah, there is no Kaiser block, even though there's an indicator. To make sure that switch state would not change, I put this launcher here, which will only spawn in when this frozen coin is already melted, so that the switch block won't change if the frozen coin is already melted. Also, this bomb is not spawned in when you go from the pipe, because it's just 4 tiles away, so it would not be spawned in. So this won't activate the switch. And yeah, that setup basically is just there to make this hidden block then change the switch state. So this muncher needs to be destacked. So when you come from the checkpoint, you go hit the switch and go over here. And now this path here is opened. And there's a mushroom platform here. And so just to make it easier to land on this here and not need to like make it jump, I added this mushroom platform at some point. And now you still have the option to go over here and hit this block again. This time, that block actually changes the switch state. Because this block again contains a Podaboo, which will activate this frozen coin. This frozen coin will is the spring? I think there's no. So once the no, I don't. Hi Blizzard, I don't play levels on stream. I'm sorry. What type of level is it? Like, I might just play it off stream if you want feedback on it, but not right now. So if this, once you hit the switch, change the switch state by hitting this block. If it's an Uno Mas, I'll play it later, but not right now. If you want, I can save the code and just like that play it later. But yeah. So before you hit the switch state here, so this spring will fall down once. Once you hit this block, this frozen coin will melt and allow the spring to fall down again. And cause this block is also off, this shell can go through and hit the switch again. Yeah, this launcher here would not be spawned in because it's spawn blocked by this block, and that block won't be blown up yet because first this bomb needs to be blowing it up. So that way hitting this block this time will change the switch state, which it didn't do when you came from that pipe. So yeah, because you need to do that, because when you go into this door up here, like if you would just ignore that, because the first time you see that that block over there contains a perturboo and does nothing. And the second time you get here in the off state, and you would get in here, and then you would get pushed down here, and then it tells you to hit the block. If you actually do that and hit the block, change the switch state back to on, then this launcher here on the left will spawn in and will make it so that you would not get pushed through. This launcher here is just spawn blocked by that blue block up here, and so in the off state it would not spawn in, and this bumper would just push you down and let you fall down here, while in the on state this launcher will spawn in, block your path, so that you would get pushed through the bumper instead of getting pushed down. And this also is the second troll here that changes when you when you spawn from the checkpoint or when you come from here. Even though you could potentially, if you like activate the snake the first time you get here, out of curiosity or for whatever reason, instead of going for the door, you would miss that troll. But if you the first time just go into the door, you will realize that you are safe here. And if you then die and then come back here, then suddenly you are not safe just going into the door. You will need to hit this block first. And this hint down here, like I like using ice blocks for hints, just to be like, oh yeah, this is a hint, like push the player's attention to the ice blocks and like make like, okay, this is a copy of that section, from earlier. I even have a door here because I have enough doors in this level for some reason, and tell you, oh, here's an arrow with tracks, additionally hint telling you to hit this block. And yeah, if you do that, then the switch state will be on and you can go in here. So you get in here in the on state. That's the only way to survive that. And you're presented with this. So this is a troll that pretty much only works when you know some of my older levels. And what I want you to expect is that you need to go in the bottom pipe, because let's say the bottom pipe would be the path, and this would be a normal break block. Then you would have a problem if you do that, and if the player expects that the top pipes don't go anywhere and the bottom pipe goes anywhere, now you could not enter the bottom pipe again. So that's what I want the player to expect, because I had like exactly that troll before, and because I expected most people to know that would play this to know my level. So those people who know my level would go down here and would be like, okay, no, I know this troll, let's go in the bottom pipe. But the bottom pipe actually this time does nothing. Instead, this block contains a POW, a winged POW, which will move over and hit this bomb here, which will hit the switch. The rest of this is important for later. So the POW will spawn, hit this bomb and hit the switch, and then the switch state is off, so which blocks the top pipe, which is actually the way you are supposed to go. The key is literally just the key does nothing, by the way. Like, there's no key door at all in the level. But because I used red coin as bait before for that troll, I decided to use a key again as bait to make it look like the top pipe is bait. The one problem I didn't yet fix in this, because I didn't want to re-upload the level again, is that if you the switch gets hit, you have access on going down here and to this hint, which could be potentially, like, it's not really confusing, but it's kind of bad that you can see this hint then. Um, and in earlier revisions, I actually had one-ways here to prevent you from going back there, which I at some revision delayed because I forgot what the reasoning for those one-ways being there was. So I got rid of the one-ways, and then at some point I realized, oh, well, that was the reason for the one-ways, but it's kind of like the level was at a point where I didn't want to re-upload it. I might still re-upload it and fix this because it's kind of annoying me, but for now it's how it is. And yeah, so this semi-solid, by the way, is just to make it easier to get up onto the icicle. The arrow also is pointing to the actual path to go because I like having the arrows in my level tell where to actually go. That's just like a thing, like a personal thing that I like more than just having an arrow down here telling you to go down here, but it's actually just a fake arrow. I don't really like those kind of trolls that rely on putting fake arrows somewhere. So a lot of people actually, no, this wasn't not yet the point. So you go into this pipe before the switch changes on, and you get in here. This is literally just a transition between two rooms because I with a pipe, and I had one additional troll or like two additional trolls in here. The first time you might just go in here and be like, oh, maybe I need whatever is in this block, or this is just a shiny jump in here, and then this hidden block contains a potable which kills you. So for those who don't know, like this, you cannot enter a pipe anymore. So this pipe gets unenterable if you hit that block. Also, if you wait too long standing here, the random fish that you might or might not have seen earlier will bump you up, which also makes you hit this block. A lot of people had struggles here because they didn't realize that they had to just go into this pipe, and that they couldn't go into this pipe after they hit the block, and they still tried it, and they for some reason didn't realize that they needed like to not hit the block and try to go in this pipe. Pretty much everybody figured it out after a little bit, and I was actually hoping, because I'm only blocking half of the top pipe here, and the player would definitely try to enter the top pipe for sure. And if they would try to enter it like this, they would realize, oh, I cannot enter it because the top half is blocked. And so that was for me like a small additional hint for being like, oh hey, if the top of a pipe is blocked, that also prevents you from going into the pipe. But still, a lot of people were super blind there and just didn't realize. All they had to do was go into the bottom pipe to get to the next room. This is another setup that I have used before, but this is more for people who did not play my other levels. Because people who know my other levels would easily predict this troll, or most likely easily predict this troll, and people who didn't would most likely not find the actual solution the first time they get here. So first of all, what you see is that you need to activate a pause somehow to kill this muncher. This block here is just shinies. It has the baby sound effect and coins, but it does literally nothing. So the two options you have, or like seemingly the only option you have maybe, is just to hit this block here, which will in every case activate the bomb, which will in any case blow up the block above the bomb, which should definitely hit the muncher. And going in here will looks like it would not do anything at all. Like no matter what you do, this don't do anything. So you do this here. It does use the buzz sound effect, and pretty much nothing happens. Or like things happen, but the muncher doesn't die. And you have this Podoboo here as well, which is important for the setup. And this clown card comes down. So what's happening here? This block here contains... I'm just going to delete the source again, just because they're just hiding the setup. So this Podoboo here is reaching up to this frozen coin here. This spring here is making this shell here move, which you can kind of hear, which I didn't really mind, and I didn't had a good way to prevent that from happening. But yeah, you have that shell moving up here, and once you hit this block and melt this coin, this shell, this moving shell will go down, hit the switch block, and hit this POW. Hitting the switch block will kill this POW here, such that this bomb would not activate this POW anymore, no matter what happens. Hitting this power block will get rid of this power block, so that if you would go then back in here and hit this POW, you could not, you couldn't go back in here and hit this POW anymore. So now the question is why, or people who know the game will probably know, but I'll still need to explain it. So why does, when this shell hits this POW, this Mancha doesn't die? Because the POW obviously gets hit. So that's how, because POW ranges, like in which radius something POW destroys everything, depends on if it's player activated or if it's activated by something else. So what I mean is, if I go in here and hit this POW, this POW will kill everything that's on screen, and also additionally one tile to the right and left. So this will reach the POW. But because this shell never interacted with the player, but only got hit by the spring and just got moved by the spring, the range of the POW, the range of the POW doesn't depend on the screen, but it's just one screen around the POW. So around where the POW is positioned instead of just everything on screen. And that way this POW has no way to reach this Muncher, and therefore it won't, the POW would get activated and won't be there anymore, but the Muncher would not die. So what you're actually supposed to do is to go in here to activate this POW, and then okay, I think I need to spawn this in from the pipe. So when the only thing left to do for you is to go in here and hit this POW. Okay, I think I broke something in this setup. Let me check this real quick. Did I delete anything or anything? No. Okay, so usually this should actually work. Sorry, I just need a second to check why the setup is not working anymore. So what is happening at the side of the screen at the left here is that this Muncher here gets pushed up and onto this cloud by this winged cloud here, without activating the node block. And as soon as the POW gets hit, that big Muncher should technically actually die. I don't know why it doesn't. Let me check this. Oh, I think I know what happened. I think I destacked this earlier. No. Okay. So why does it? This should actually work. Did I delay the one way or something? I changed something earlier that janked this out, and now it doesn't work anymore, which is great. Thanks, game. I'm gonna figure out another time why this janked out or what I did wrong, but it doesn't really matter. I think this should work now. So what happens is that hitting this POW will kill this big muncher that is up here, and by killing that muncher, because it's barely in the range right here, but this bomb here is not in the range anymore because it's 2 tiles off screen and not 1. This launcher will fall down on the spring, not on the spring, on the note block, and therefore will get bounced up in here and will then activate the bomb because it's now going against the one way, and that bomb will then activate the switch. Activating the switch will change the movement of this clown car here on this switch track, so that it actually can come down here, and therefore it will fall onto one of those tracks which look kinda like aesthetics, but this one track is actually important for this clown car to land on. And now if you do this, you can actually clip through the one ways. The icicle that's over here is just so if you like go in here again, or like if you like, you can mess up the clip with the one with the clown car or anything, so that wouldn't be a soft lock. So that's why that icicle is still over there. But if you and this marker here is just like jump into the icicle because you went into the one ways, and somebody actually was like, oh, is there a Kaiser block here? But if you have knowledge about the game, you know that okay, like I had to check this myself too, but if you cannot place an Kaiser block here, because you cannot overlap Kaiser blocks and icicles. So there actually is no Kaiser block here. It's just a marker for like I could have put a spike into this as well. It's just like, okay, here's just your thing you can die in when you would get softlock in here. So if you get in here, you can hit the POW. The switch would get hit. The clown car comes down. You can clip through here, and you can. And the mantra would have also died because this time it's on screen. The power range is everything on screen, and this mantra would die, and you can go in here. Also, the switch state now is off because it's changed exactly once. So the switch state is off. Let me do this faster. Now you can go into this pipe. This pipe reaches up here back to this room here. This actually is the same room that you were in earlier, like the copy pasta room. It also has the fish. Everything is the same. The only difference is that this time this pipe actually is not naked anymore, which is like a small little detail. I was like, the first time you're in the garbage section, now the pipe is naked, and now you're not in the garbage section. No, those blue blocks, spawn block, the bomb that blew up the blocks before, so the pipe is naked. Those blue blocks are not there anymore, and therefore this pipe is not naked anymore because those blocks aren't blown up. So this time you're in the off state, which also makes it so that you would not, like, from this pipe down here fall down onto this. You would just land on those blue blocks to not die. So now you go in here in the off state, and you would get pretty much the same message, except that the brick blocks that you most likely have recognized earlier are now going to be activated by a P switch every moment now. Yeah, and it will say the level is not, the title is not a lie. The title is a lie, by the way. It's just like not like the title's my first troll level or like something like that, just spelled very badly. And the thing saying the title's a lie is less saying that like what the title is saying is not true. It's more saying like the title is saying this is a garbage level, and the first time it's saying, oh, this is a lie, and now the second time now it's saying, oh, the title saying that this is a garbage level is not a lie. That's more the intention behind this, like how it's supposed to be interpreted, rather than just purely the title. So what's going on here? So the P-switch over here is just a mantra on top of P-switch, which will be spawn blocked by red blocks the first time, but if you get in the off state, will just get activated. This here actually is not in here in the version that's currently uploaded. So that would also be a small change I would do. The brick blocks that turn into coins, to make those here that actually contain something and won't turn into coins, show the word not. To the POW to make all those coins fall down gets activated by this bomb, which will get activated as which will blow up as soon as this P-switch gets hit. But instead, in the actual version that's currently uploaded, those coins won't fall. You still see the message not, but it will like the brick blocks will turn back, and it looks a little bit sloppier. So I would change it if I would re-upload, but it's not like worth re-uploading for me at the moment. Also on this side here, this bomb also this time isn't spawn block, and this block on tracks just activates the bomb, blows it up, and makes the wall here go blow up. Those launchers this time will be spawned in because it's in the off state and will make it impossible to fall down and die here. The launchers on tracks that pushed you earlier are going to just fall off the track down here and will just disappear forever. And there are one-ways in here to make sure that you won't like go back the whole text here and like spawn in the launchers again or do some weird shenanigans that could cause some things I don't want to happen. So that's why I'm pushing one-ways, and those launchers are actually pushing you far enough so you cannot go back through the one-ways, or like you have to go into this direction through the one-ways. So this wall will blow up, and it will reveal like a little bit more of the message. Now it says hold right plus, which is more like an and, like it's meant like hold right and wait. Plus instead of and, it's just shorter and it works usually. Wait, and then it puts you down here and it shows you this section here, like marked with ice blocks to show that it's a hint, like I usually like to do, and it is a copy of the beginning section. The only difference is that it's this time it's not night mode, because the subworld is not night mode, because I didn't want more ice physics down there, and it now has an arrow and a coin here telling you like hold right and wait down here, and that's pretty much everything. We have a Goomba down here that is just, it doesn't have any purpose. It has, I think, yeah, it has the bonus music, but like that Goomba, you can kill it or you cannot kill it. It just doesn't really do anything. So you go in here, like the only thing you can do now is go into this pipe. The switch state will still be off, and it will go put you in here. I'm giving the player this message here, telling you that you can actually reset, with which I mean hitting the restart button. Even though you have a checkpoint, because this is pretty much just putting you back at the beginning. So what happens now, you do the holding right again, and you would get here, and if as soon as you get here you're supposed to wait, which is what the message was telling you this time. And if you wait here for a little bit, this mushroom comes down. So first of all, this time you may have noticed that I waited here a lot, and even if I didn't even need to walk here, because the switch state was already in the off state, which means that this form, by the way, then won't even spawn in if it's in the off state. But in the off state, I don't need to be worried about timing my walking with this spring, about like timing it with this thumb, because the state is already off. So this platform will already come down as soon as it spawn in, and will already fall down on this, and this path will already be opened. So in this case, it doesn't matter if you actually walk or run, because I don't really have control about how fast the player is going to come down here. Like, this would just be confusing if I would force the player to like do this in a certain speed. So when you get here, no matter if you actually come from the beginning, like even if you restart and now walk, you get here in the off state, you're getting on this platform. If you now wait, this mushroom here, which is on this switch track here, will move over, and you have to wait for it to move all the way down. Like, it's like a 10-second wait, just to make sure that player won't find it on accident. And then it will fall down here right where the player is, and the player would collect it. And if the player does that, I'm gonna show this. He's gonna enter the room he entered before in the off state again, but this time he would enter that room being big, and because the player is big this time, the progressive power up that hit the switch earlier would be a fire flower now. And cause this is a fire flower, this won't move over and hit the switch, because fire flowers don't move. And those launchers will move up and make this pipe here enterable, and also the only possible way to go. So those launchers moving up is pretty much just those two node blocks here. If the switch state is on, or if the switch state switches on from off to on, then those node blocks will just, this one will just fall off here. This one will just go this way, like, they will just go like this. This one will just fall off, this one will also just fall off, and those node blocks won't do anything. If you get in here in the off state, those node blocks will, well, I need to do this faster. Those node blocks will move over here and bump up those launchers, and those launchers will land on those clouds, making them stay up higher. The node blocks will still fall off the tracks just so they go away, because they filled their purpose, and those node blocks are what is bumping up those launchers here, so you can't enter this pipe, and you're going to enter this pipe still being big, right? I think. You go in here, you lose your mushroom to that saw, and you get into this room. And if you wait too long, you die. So this room was basically for me a room where I had a pipe entry, but I wanted the entrance to the next room be a door. So I basically had to put some room in where you come in a pipe and exit through a door. And what I did was just putting in some random naked pipes again, a door here, a saw to get rid of your mushroom, and the rest of the space I just filled with arrows. And at some point, I actually had no arrows left because I actually ran out of arrows. I can show that, like, I don't have any arrows. More arrows I could place here because I placed literally as much as possible here. I filled with arrows. So I was like, okay, well, in that case, I might as well just put in the classic "I ran out of" message and put in arrows, because you usually don't really run out of arrows. So I thought, like, why would I not put it here and tell the player, oh, I ran out of arrows, instead of only showing the player a bunch of random arrows. Like, those arrows are literally just randomly placed. They aren't showing anything. They are just here to fill the space. This message is kind of hard to read because with tracks, letters like A and W are kind of hard, and R is also R and F are also kind of difficult to make. So the message is also additionally kind of distracting, like to try to read, and I probably need to tell most people what this message is actually telling, but it does its job. It's just filling space. Those pipes here all do nothing, and when you wait too long, this bomb on tracks here, that the track is the bomb is hiding behind this launcher. This bomb will fall down and is timed so that it would be exactly here when it blows up, blowing up the block that you're standing on, just dropping you into this pit. So all you gotta do is enter this door. And I think I'm in the wrong switch state as well. So I think, not in here. So all you gotta do is enter the store. Don't wait for the bomb to blow it up. Enter the store, and now you have this room. And there's a checkpoint up there, which is very shiny. And at the time I made this level, or like at least before that, it was a lot of meta to do rooms with a checkpoint, where you give the player two options, which seem like pick a path, and the only bad thing you could have done is wait too long, and and you could have done any of the two paths, and it doesn't matter which path. Both paths would give you the checkpoint, but if you wait too long, then you could not get the checkpoint anymore and would die, or it would be blocked or whatever. And so I was trying to what I was doing here is reversing that troll and be like, oh, you are going fast. Well, now you went through those one ways, and now the goal here blows up, and now you can get the checkpoint here, but you cannot get the goal anymore. And this here actually is a soft block, which also is intentional, because the level just said that the title is not a lie, meaning the level actually, like, saying before it said, oh, the title is a lie, meaning the level is not garbage, and now it says the title is not a lie, meaning the level is garbage. And now the garbage comes in with another soft lock right at the checkpoint. And what you gotta do now is restart, because I told you earlier, because of this I was like, okay, I should tell the player that he can just restart. And if you restart, come back in here, and you know that the goal is going to blow up. The only thing you need to do is not move, and you can stand here and win. So first of all, those mushrooms over here are literally just like, you have to collect those mushrooms, and they are literally just there so that you would not die to, like, the fish falling down here before the wall would get blown up, just to make sure that won't happen. That's the only purpose of those mushrooms. And up here we have the setup with the fish. So what this does you cannot put like two things on the same track. Like if I put like a track here and then want to put a fish and bomb on the same track, that just doesn't work. But I can time it so that they overlap, and it obviously works better to hide like a small bomb like this behind a big fish. So what is happening here? We have those three winged fish, which are additionally there to scare the player or also make them think that they did the right thing by going fast. And then this fish here is hiding this bomb. Like all of this is winged just so that things happen faster. And as you can see, because they are landing, those tracks have the same length, and so they would land on this track at the same time, so they would overlap and the fish would hide the bomb. The bomb also isn't lit yet. It gets lit when it reaches this potaboo, which is literally just to time the bomb to exactly blow this up so that you can reach the goal from the bottom but not from the top. And those other fish are literally just their time to be somewhat around the same height as the middle fish, just to scare off the player, like just for consistency to scare off the player. And yeah, that's pretty much how this setup works. Yeah, so that is pretty much the ending troll. A bunch of people were like wondering how I upload this level, because I need to clear check it from the checkpoints too. Like the reason in the first place why I have this pipe here going back to the beginning is I needed to upload it from the first checkpoint, and if I would not have this room here lead back to the beginning, I would need some kind of dev exit to upload from that checkpoint, which I didn't really want, so I figured I'd just put you back to the beginning and tell you what to do from there and let you restart if you want. From the beginning is clear. Or like in both cases, I just do the auto, go in here, big, and then go in here and just win from here. But this checkpoint is kind of like, it's not actually interesting, it's actually pretty simple. When I get in here, the switch state is still off. And even if I get in here, the switch state is off, there's no way in here to change the switch state. When I spawn from the checkpoint though, the switch state is on, and all I need to do is wait for the fish to blow up that and use one of the bombs that infinitely spawn from that pipe to blow up more of those blocks to just blow my way up to the win. That's pretty much everything I need to do for that. For that clear check. A bunch of people thought maybe this pipe here goes to the subworld and then goes back to a pipe in here, and then I can win from here or anything like that. But yeah, it's just bombs in this pipe. So that's pretty much the level. A few things I want to notice. First of all, I usually go through my level and be like, do I want to change the colors of the pipes? Like maybe make those pipes blue because it fits better to the ice aesthetics. But I intentionally kept everything at the standard colors, green, just to make it look like less effort put into it. Also, in all of those sections, what I usually wouldn't do is give the player that much room to just jump around and where there's no ground, nothing, and no purpose of giving the player room. I would usually use a lot more ground to limit the place the player has to go, which is another thing. And the last thing is that this beginning section, which is totally garbage, is still pretty much beatable for everyone. Like the hidden dev block, or like what is supposed to be like looking like hidden dev block, is not required. So if somebody doesn't find it, it doesn't really matter for them if they can beat the level or not. Also, there's no enemy spam which, or like no hard platforming. Like this jump is a little bit blind and it's like a little bit hard to figure out, but that's pretty much the hardest part to figure out. So that's also like I wanted the level to be garbage, but still beatable for everyone. Like nothing where the player would get stuck because they don't find the hidden block, or that's the reason why I made sure that there are 2 hidden blocks over here, so that the player would definitely find them, so he could definitely, even though the level is garbage, still beat it, which was a very important point for me, because I still want the people to play the level and beat it, so they would get to the later sections where I have the whole twist with the auto levels, and that's like why there's no enemy spam or like place hammer bros where you need to like get lucky to get over or anything. I could have done that, yes, but I think that would have made the level a lot worse, because you would struggle getting to the twist. And one last thing I want to note, I made this level at the begin, like I think I uploaded it the first time like at the very beginning of 2020, meaning at this point, when I uploaded the level, I didn't yet, the auto meta actually was not actually like existing. Like the only auto level at this point was the level is a lie, which is why the message that reveals the auto is like the title is a lie, like it comes from the level is a lie, and the reason that it's like that is pretty much because the level is a lie was the only auto level, and I wanted to be like kind of a parody, because the level is a lie. What am I saying? Because at this time the parodies were like pretty much the big meta. Everybody was doing parodies of other levels, so I did kind of a parody of the levels a lie with this as well. And later the auto levels got meta, and then people already thought like this was like a play on the auto meta, which actually never was supposed to be. Like it was just a play. It was just this pretty much the second auto level. Like it was maybe it was like the third auto level or something. But yeah, the twist was actually not playing on the auto meta that came later, even though a lot of people thought that it was playing on it. I think I covered pretty much everything in here now. I'm gonna look through if I missed like any element that I didn't explain, but I don't think I did. Oh yeah, there's one thing in the subword. So some people didn't quite like this hint here. I changed it a few times. I had to revise it a lot. Some people didn't understand the original hints, and just in case somebody would spawn from this checkpoint and get around here without like actually getting the mushroom and would get back in here, I made sure that if you enter this room for a second time, when this bomb blows up, blowing up this block, this launcher here would spawn. This icicle here, like even if this wouldn't contain hammer bros, this icicle here could kill you, and there, so that your way would be blocked right here to make sure like that there are no soft blocks later in here or anything. So that's why this launcher, that's the point of this launcher here. And also this launcher here is also spawning in, so that this here wouldn't get activated again. Because when you would get in here a second time, this coin would already be melted. Then the switch block could be blown up. Like if you do the full cycle around here, this coin would be melted. The spring could fall down because you're entering in the off state here, and would activate the switch block. But because you but because you were in this room before, this bomb already also blew up and blew up this block, making sure that this launcher falls down, blocking the path to the on-off switch, so that the on-off state would not change back this time. And yeah, this launcher just to block your path here to not allow more progression from here if you don't get the mushroom here. Yeah, I think that now should be it. Yeah, what was I need to wait? I need to look at one more thing again. What was that again? Did this have any sound effects? No, I don't actually know what this is down here is for. Yeah, I honestly forgot what this was there for. I think that was for the same reason that this launcher was there. Just that something's wrong here, and I think I forgot to delete the setup here down here, and it doesn't really have a point. But yeah. So yeah, I think that should be everything about the level that I can explain. Like, I think I explained my thought process to pretty much everything that I can. So thanks for watching. I think I'm gonna put this on YouTube, either edited or unedited, I don't know yet. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, thanks for hanging out. I think that's gonna be it for me today. I think I'm not gonna expand another level for today. So yeah, bye everyone, I think.